All right, so this bum comes up to me, right? And he's all like begging for change. And I was like, get a fucking job, you bum. And then I threw the change at him more so than to him. Was I wrong for that? Was that wrong? No, I'm just kidding. What's up, YouTubers? I'm Cam Rock. And, talking about getting a job. Get a job. Everybody says get a job. People with jobs especially like to say that. And back at the time when I thought it was easy to get a job, because it probably was, circa 2001 before economic downfall and everything, much easier to get a job. However, we've always had an unemployment rate that always floats in between like 8%, and sometimes it goes a little higher, up to 13, a little lower. But we always have an unemployment rate. Now, when we say get a job, what are people supposed to do to survive when they're waiting on this job to just fall from the sky? First of all, you got to be qualified for a job. So you can't just tell someone get a job, because they have to be qualified. They need a certain level of education. They also need experience. Typically, especially nowadays, every job is asking for experience. Now, I happen to have a college degree. I have a bachelor's. It's in communications and psychology. But that overqualifies me for something like McDonald's, fast food basically, or working even like recently I tried to apply part time just at a video store, which I've done before. As a teenager in high school, I worked at a video store for 2 years, so I have experience in that. However, I still couldn't get hired. Most likely it's because it was only a part-time position and it's competitive for one, and also I'm probably overqualified for that position. Now, uh, when it comes to just get a job, people love to say that as if you can just make it happen or snap your fingers, but you can't. You gotta apply, interview, and you gotta be lucky to even get the interview. Hell, every interview I've ever gotten, I've had to harass the company and call them multiple times, find out who the hiring manager is, and like beg or demand the interview and just like hard sell it. And I only got that skill from many years of experience doing sales. So, uh, get a job. People love to say that, but we don't know what all it takes. We don't take into consideration what all it takes to truly just get a job. You never just get a job. You earn it. I mean, you got to work hard as hell for it, even a simple one. And in today's day and age with the economic downturn, it's even harder than ever, even for us college graduates. So let's talk about basic needs. Basic needs means, we got to provide basic needs for everyone. And with our debt ceiling and the government shutdown just ending, debt ceiling being raised, uh, you know, right now the deficit is at an all-time high. So many trillions of dollars. How can we do that? Well, my question is, how can we not? You can't have a society going where, this is why economic failing is happening. This is why the housing market is crashing. This is why fewer people are watching TV, and instead they're turning to the internet, which is a free source of, television and for movies, music, etc. Whereas all you pay is your, cable, the internet bill rather. And few people are watching cable. That market is dying. Video stores are dying. I was shocked that the video stores even hiring for part time, but you know, it's one of the few remaining. A lot of them are closing down because people don't rent videos anymore. They just go online. They're using Netflix. They're using Crackle, which is free. A lot of other online sources, YouTube. Um, Newspaper industry is going down right now. The car market is terrible. They still keep bringing them off the assembly line and making cars, but people aren't buying cars and just switching them out every year or 2 years like they used to do. And one of the reasons is jobs. Now, when the president talked about how we need to get back to creating jobs, well, that takes a lot of time. What are people supposed to do while we're waiting on you to create jobs? What are they doing to survive? Because all a job means is income for survival. So, what are people going to do, right? We have to provide basic needs for that reason. If you have a fish tank and you don't feed the fish eat each other. And that's what we have in our society, a bunch of fish eating each other. That's predators feeding upon the prey. Now, when it comes to a predator and the prey, who are the first fish in the fish tank to get eaten? The youngest, the smallest. And this is why I say we need to protect the weak, our children. The weakest of us is our children. So we have to provide protection for them. Predators out there are going to prey on our children. If you have a society full of have-nots, then guess what? They're going to prey on the weak. The weak, the helpless, the handicapped, the disabled, the children. And we got to provide protection for them. Now, the way that we do that is providing for these predators that really would have no reason to steal if their basic needs were being met. Every day in this country, we waste food, we throw it away. Restaurants, grocery stores, they have spoilage and an X amount that they can't keep overnight, so they have to throw it out. And then we have a homeless population that eats out of dumpsters and stuff like that for that very reason, because they're throwing the food away. Instead of throwing it into a dumpster, we should box it up, crate it up, ship it around to people that need it. Or better yet, we can allow people with a basic needs program to simply buy it instead of cutting back on things like welfare and which is food stamps, and providing cash to like moms and WIC, to single moms. We should provide that everyone, male and female alike, parent or non, to ensure that our society provides, because as I always say, a society that provides is a society that thrives. Now, how are we going to get ahead as a people if we don't provide for one another? If we only promote cutthroat tactics in terms of, well, I got a job, screw everyone else, well, that's not going to get us anywhere. We always are going to have an unemployed population. There just simply aren't enough jobs to go around. And when I see so many people that I graduated from college with going without work, that says something heavily right there. I'm a college graduate. Shauna holding the camera is a college graduate. We both have no jobs. My mom has a master's degree. She has no job. But lucky for us, she was able to invest from prior jobs into her own business. And, but in today's day and age, it's difficult for even small businesses to get off the ground. And it's difficult for old businesses to maintain the level of revenue and sales that they once had. Why? Lots of things are changing. The world is changing. The global market and economy is heavily changing, especially due to the internet, online sales, so many online businesses, like Amazon, eBay, etc. So with people shopping elsewhere, a lot of businesses are going to fluctuate in sales and go down typically, and some are going to go under and just all out have to go out of business. So what does that mean? Do we let these people who are going to lose their jobs and the business owners that are going to lose their livelihood and their career as well, what are they going to do now? Well, if we provide basic needs for people, they won't have to worry so much about their survival. A lot of crimes happen from the homeless population and the jobless population, the unemployed, because they simply are doing without. They're not able to survive. Now, if you lose your job, you shouldn't have, what do you have? No parents to live with, no siblings to live with. What do you have? No one to live with. We have plenty of shelters that are boarded up, collecting dust and cobwebs, dry rotting out. Termites are eating it up. So what are we doing for that? Well, we should provide basic needs. One of those needs would be shelter, heating and cooling. Another basic need would be water. We need to keep hot and cold water running in the place, along with electricity. Food, because we waste it every day in this country. Clothing, because you need to wear something. And you're going to outgrow clothes. Clothes get old, dirty, etc. Also, transportation, that's very important. We got all these roads, planes, trains, and automobiles. Hell, the airport and the airplane industry is even going down, and people are flying less. Why? It's expensive, and people just don't have the money for that luxury nowadays. So that is going down. So we provide basic needs along with a petty cash fund of, let's say, $800 a month per person. People can enjoy that spending that they used to have. Also, if they're not in a shelter that's provided to them via the basic needs program, let's say with $800 a month petty cash fund, or even $1,000 a month, they can afford to both pay rent and electric bill, plus have a little money left over for anything extra, depending on the city you live in, of course. Illinois, Missouri, I'm in the Midwest, happen to be cheaper areas to live in, but other states cost more money. However, you can typically always find an apartment that's around $500-600 a month. And so, $800 a month should cover that. That and an electric bill, if you can get you a place that's all electric. All right. Internet. Why? Because, how do you apply for, jobs nowadays? Online. You're going to need a computer, that extra spending money like I talked about, as well as, internet service so that you can get online and apply for jobs. Now, eventually, there will be more jobs available, we hope. But we can't guarantee that, and we damn sure don't have a guarantee right now. So until that happens, we need to provide basic needs. Now, medicine, of course, healthcare and stuff like that be the last thing that's part of basic needs. Now, basic needs will fix so many issues if we provide that. And of course, last but not least, be free education. Public libraries is a great thing. I love the spreading of knowledge. That shouldn't be a privilege that we have such a heavy money barrier over. Now, public schools are not free. There's lots of fees that go along with that for like their lunch. They even make you pay for books in a lot of these schools. And in some schools, many school districts don't even let you take the books home. So, education needs to be free all the way up to the PhD level. Why? Any society that's going to run half-assed smoothly is going to need educated people. You can't do anything without an education. You can't do jobs without an education. So we need to eliminate the money barrier, which is a hindrance for people getting educated. Let's help our society, our people get educated. We expect them to do things and live alongside of us, work jobs and be responsible, mature, educated, smart people. But we need to provide a means for them to do this. So free education will do exactly that. Now, also, we'll be able to focus on the special skills of each individual. Everyone has something they can contribute. Everyone has a strong point and a weak point. We can't expect people to have this generalized blanket of skills and just say, get a job. Well, they have to be good at it and know what they're doing. So any job that is available, we need to provide for education so that way people can get the special training and skills. Now, I took out loans for my education. I got subsidized, unsubsidized loans. I even got a little help from Pell Grant, which is, financial aid. But financial aid only gave me like $900 for the whole school year for the years I was in college. And obviously college costs a lot more than that. So we need to focus on, like, let's say less money into, we're paying for education because people don't even pay their loans off. In fact, most people don't even work in the field that their degree is in. But you go to college to get a degree so that you can work in that field. At least you hope to work in that field. But if you don't get the chance to, a lot of people are just happy to get any job and just to be paid and just to have money and survive. But we need basic needs so that we can provide for people. Last but not least, healthcare. People are up in arms. The government shut down even over Obamacare, over healthcare, over a public healthcare system for the people. Well, why not? If a bad epidemic, something akin to the AIDS virus or some other horrible virus or bacteria or fungus or parasite or whatever, were to break out in this country, how would we know about it if majority of the people spreading the disease around don't go to the doctor ever? Well, that's our homeless population. That's our unemployed population. With people not going to the doctor, getting regular checkups, men and women and children, we leave ourselves open for disease outbreaks. And that would be horrible. That would be terrible. People wouldn't know if they're sick if they had no symptoms. And even if they did have symptoms, if they couldn't afford to go to the doctor to figure out what the symptoms are from, you still could be spreading disease. And what if this pathogen is airborne and you're just in the same environment, room, building, that someone that was sick was just once in at one time? You could be getting it and not even know it. That's the danger of that. We have no preventative medicine measures. We have people, our homeless population, that still sleep outside amongst, filth like feces and rats and roaches. Homeless people defecate in the streets, in the public, out there. And they sleep in the streets, in the public out there. And we need to quit allowing that to happen. So we can avoid that. We can bring crime down by providing basic needs. Sickness can go down. We can have preventative medicine measures in place so to avoid disease outbreaks and epidemics. We can keep people from sleeping among rats and roaches. We can get drug addicts off the streets. And we can hopefully even stop the drug addicted street walking prostitutes from walking the streets offering those services just because they need money for drugs. Instead, maybe we can get them some help by providing this medicine, shelter, water, food, etc., and keep married men and men in general from getting sexual favors from these types of women. Why? These women are the ones that are going to be spreading that kind of disease. If it's a sexually transmitted disease, if it's not an airborne pathogen, most times it's sexually transmitted, just like the HIV/AIDS virus. Now, I talk about that because, well, that's very serious. It should be a concern of everyone. People were concerned when anthrax was going through the mail because, it was a terrorist attack and this and that. But we should be concerned about something that isn't human induced on purpose, but instead the things that we're going to contribute to on accident, simply because we let people in many parts of the world, including this country, drink water that is fetid and riddled with disease and pests and parasites and different types of bacterial and fungal pathogens. So we have areas in the world where they don't have any clean water at all, and they think we're wasting water because they don't understand how our plumbing and irrigation system works. So that's a technology we can spread once we figure out how to take care of our own people here in this country. Now, we spend money in this country every day on lots of dumb things, in my opinion. We have this international budget on foreign policy, this and that. I mean, they're providing reparations right now to Afghanistan. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't, but the thing is my people, the freed slaves, the black Americans, have not been paid reparations, or as I like to call it, reparations, because we were enslaved. All you did was wage war in that country. We fought every war in this country, plus we were slaves for over 450 years, for many generations, more than 18 of them. So, and our education was stifled. We had to fight and go through a whole civil rights movement just to be able to go to school alongside white Americans. So, with that, we clearly need changes in this country. And basic needs is the first step to that change. Free education is one of the first steps to that change. Then we can get health care. We can take care of our homeless because they won't go away otherwise. We can take care of the unemployed and their survival needs. We can fix the economy a lot better and handle maybe even some of the flaws in our legal system. Because as we all know, prison is not a place for rehabilitation for men nor women. People go there, they get beaten, abused, raped, etc., and they come out much worse physically and mentally than they went in. So that's not a rehabilitation system. Our court system is all about money, collecting legal fees. It's not about helping someone out or getting justice. It's about the lawyers trying to get as much money as they can out of you, and the court charging as many legal fees and court costs and this and that, and just getting money out of you. And if you don't pay the money, oh, well, we just throw you in prison, throw you in jail or something. Well, that's not right. That's not justice. Instead, we should focus on why the person did the crime and how to help repair and fix that issue.